Welcome to the Wallace Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. Instead of me doing a story, Gavin was sharing stuff with me from the TMI that he prepared. If you've listened to the regular podcast, you've heard what he did for that. But he had way more stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I want to talk about this in Aftercast today. So what do you got, Gavin?
Okay, so you have Forrest Frank. He was doing an interview, and he was talking about the work ethic that he has while he is on tour. And I hear a lot of stories about people who tour in this industry, and some people, I think it's Casting Crowns that brings family.
Yeah, they work with him. Like his kids have worked with him. They've played in his band. His wife is like the manager. It's a whole family unit.
So there's one style of doing it. Forrest is different.
I have two modes. I have grind my face off and fully retired. I cannot mix the two. I'm too locked in on whatever I do. So when I'm on tour, my family, they don't come on tour. I'm taking this precious time away from my family, so I'm locking in. So I just go as hard as I can. So I don't have any off time. I'm not watching TV. I'm not doom scrolling. I'm just locked in.
Yeah, I am shaving this mustache like a boss.
Shaping it up.
Yeah, get my trim on right.
This mullet doesn't
it's not going to cut itself. I understand where he's coming from on this. Like when I first came to Way FM 18 years ago, the idea was I would come here, but we had a house in Atlanta. It would sell. My wife would come here, and our house in Atlanta did not sell. And so it made no sense to try and keep two houses and all this other stuff. I wasn't making enough money to have it work. And, it was kind of a debacle. And my daughter was still in school. And so they stayed in Atlanta, and what was supposed to be just a couple months turned into almost a year and a half. And I grinded for that year and a half. Like it helped me build this show and get things in place, that some things we still use to this day. And I lived, eat, and breathed this show all the time, and it made it hard for everyone around me because I wanted them to do that too. And they had a little thing called lives. And so I get it. I understand that you can focus on that. I think that it's really dangerous for artists to have just their work and not their family. Like if you can take your family on the road with you, if you get to that point, I think that's amazing. I've listened and talked to too many guys that have done this long term that were like, when we got to the point where we could travel with our family, it was a game changer.
Yeah.
Because then your kids get to see the ministry. They get to share in this, and you get to be there for them. I remember talking to Josh from the Afters one day, and he was telling me about his kid. He was on the road, and his kid, doing schoolwork and stuff like that, and he's like helping him. And I'm like, yeah, does your kid ever draw a picture of his family, and it's him and mama and you on a computer screen? And he just goes, oh, that hurt. Wow. And but it's true. Like you can spend so much of your life dedicate your life to helping others find Jesus. Mm-hmm. And I love that. It's a great thing. But so many pastors find they dedicate their lives to their flock at the expense of their family, and their families fall apart. Their kids are a mess. And so for a short season, be on that grind. I get it, Forrest. I understand. You're out there making what you can make right now, and you're going for it.
This little span here, this year or two, this is his
moment.
Ignition. Like he has started, he caught fire, beginning of last year maybe? So it's not like I don't know if he's been doing this, because he was doing stuff before, but he didn't catch. No, this is him on another level.
Yeah, this is probably this year, maybe into next year, will be the biggest he'll be.
And it's probably,
and then it will start to decline.
The money that'll not carry, but if he invests well and does well, this will help his family for a long time.
Absolutely. But boy, I'll tell you, those times on the road, you hear so many stories of guys that get distracted and guys that their attention gets pulled other ways. And I'm not saying anything about Forrest, but it's like sometimes the trappings of that life get you and end up undoing the thing you were doing it for. I want to provide a great life for my family, and I want to serve my God. And then all of a sudden it all comes crashing down. You hear that story way, way too often. Addiction hits some of these guys when you're on that grind and stuff. And so if I was talking to him personally as a friend, I'd be like, I get it. You're in this season right now. Don't make this your thing. Like, get back with your family. When my wife finally moved here, and it wasn't perfect, but we finally made the decision, we're like, you have to be here. Like, this is affecting our family. You have to be here, and we'll figure it out. And we did, and then we went to an apartment, and I went from like a 4,000 square foot home, basement, like, and making all this money, and like, it was great. And then I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to serve you. And then my life starts falling apart, and I end up back in a 1,000 square foot apartment for what I, again, thought was going to be 6-8 months, maybe a year, 4.5 years in that apartment. Oh yeah, it was, and I still remember to this day. We were talking earlier in the show, that quote from KB. This is kind of ties in. Like, he was talking about anxiety and fear, and he's like, there's a correlation with women who fear their cancer coming back. There's a correlation to it coming back more in those women. And there was this thing, like, when you let go of something, sometimes it has a way of turning. You've held on to it so long. And I remember being in that apartment. I had just come back from a trip from Africa. And Africa is always like transformative for me, you know. And I came back and I'd had all this great moment. I've seen the poorest of the poor. And I come back and it's 1:00 in the morning when I get back in town. And I've got to park all the way around the corner because parking at our complex was horrible. And it's raining. And I'm walking to my apartment. I'm just mad. I'm just pissed. I'm like, why? God, why? I'm trying to serve you, and this is what we're doing. I'm staying in an apartment. This is a little embarrassing. I used to have houses and all this stuff, and now I'm staying in an apartment, and it just stinks, you know, and I was so mad. And then I just remember stopping, and I'm just getting soaked and stopping, and just my eyes are water. I'm crying, and I'm like, man, you've already forgotten that thing that you were in 24 hours ago, and that moment of gratitude and thankfulness and seeing how little people had. And you're going to go to a warm apartment that's filled with food. You got people that love you, and you're complaining about this. There are people that would love to have what you have. They'd love to be in the apartment you're in, you know? And it was when I finally let that go, and I had wrestled with this with God for a while. When I finally let that go, it was the weirdest thing. My house in Atlanta, maybe a month later, sold. And it wasn't perfect, but it was provision. Like, it sold. I lost money. I lost a lot of money on that house. I had to show up to close that house to give my house to somebody, and I had to write a check. Like, it was still, I remember that moment. I remember standing in my garage, like, and going, okay, God, I'm gonna lose. I think it was like $10,000 or something. I had to write a check for.
That's bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And so I'm like, okay. But in that moment, there was such a release and a freedom of this thing had been burdening me for so long, and it was gone. And I remember going, all right, God, this is not how I would have done this, but thank you for your provision in selling that house so that I can then move on with my life here. And that was what then started this path of rebuilding, in essence, my life, you know, and my finances and all that stuff. And it was great, but it started from that place of I had to surrender some things that I've been really, really mad about. And I'd love to say I've gotten it all worked out. I'd love to say, like, I get it. Oh my gosh, me and God are so tight. I love everything he does. I love his plans that don't look anything like mine. It's amazing. I'm not there yet. I have moments where I am, but then there's a lot of days I'm like, nah, still.
You personally can draw on that experience from your past to help yourself in the current day.
Yeah, I wish I did that more.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that lost everything. He was a successful builder in Atlanta, lost everything, lost his house, ended up losing his marriage. But when he was going through it all, we're like, write these things down, because there were steps along the way that we just saw God's hand providing for him. And again, not perfect. I have a friend that left Way FM to start Shower Up, and it was a real scary time for him. But this is a guy that loves God, loves serving people. And I've watched time and time again the stories of God's faithfulness to him, and it's all inspiring. But then I think, okay, well, he's just a better believer than me, and so God's naturally going to take care of him. And so, but the thing is, it's like if you learn to surrender your life in that way, God's going to do the same type things for you, but can you make that commitment? Can you pull that trigger and fully release control and stuff? And I still can't. I still have to control things.
Well, it's funny. That's like you talk about the extra stuff we found via TMI.
Yeah.
We do have that Mark Hall thing about control. He's, if this is I guess a flash forward whenever we do this. But
yeah, probably tomorrow.
He has a line about control as a chain that holds us back. And when you let go of that control, which again, I don't always understand or know what that means in my head, at least, to let go control. Do I just stop worrying? Because you still have to be proactive with things.
Sure.
But the letting go of control does feel like a complicated and tough thing to do.
Well, what do you think about this? Like, Betty, there's a thing that some people fully surrender. And they're like, okay, just you God, you go God, and I'm going to sit back and watch what you do. I don't believe that. I believe that I should still be proactive in trying to do maybe I'm wrong. I believe that I should still be moving forward in things and trying things, but God shuts doors and moves things, but I don't feel guilty for trying. I don't feel guilty for pushing. I don't feel like I'm necessarily trying to control it, but because I don't like just sitting there in the waiting, So I don't know.
I don't think there's anything wrong with taking advantage of the opportunities that are just naturally ahead of you or before you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think the control comes from when we start getting angry because it didn't work out or frustrated or anxious.
It's outcome oriented.
Then that's when we're trying to take control. But if we take the opportunities that he's put before us and we give the outcome to him and we have peace no matter what, we're still being active, but we are giving up control.
Because that's where I look at the stories in the Bible, the parables about the guys with the talents that they were given. And they went out and they did something with them. They didn't. Mm-hmm. And the one guy that didn't, the one guy that was like, I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it right here. And he's like, Lord, look what I did. Master, look what I did. I saved your money. And he's like, you're the worst ever. You're like, well, that was harsh. That was a little much. I mean, maybe a thank you for not losing my money would have been nice. But yeah, I think that there is a inherent part of that story that it's a good lesson for, keep trying, keep doing. And I think you're complicit in a good way in outcomes that way. And at least for me, it makes me feel better. If I am just not doing anything, I feel like I'm lazy, in something.
Yeah.
And so for me, I want to do stuff, but I do like the idea that you're talking about of the difference is when it doesn't go your way, do you get mad or do you trust? Okay, I tried this. Maybe that wasn't the plan. Now I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try this, and then eventually I'll zero in on it maybe, or I'll learn what I'm supposed to learn, and then it's going to happen. I have no idea. What do you got, Rock?
You know what? I want to start a new game.
Yeah.
I like games.
And it's going to be the segue game.
Okay.
So I want to take what you've just spoken about, and instead of just saying, what have you got, Rock? I want you to do a creative segue for me.
Okay, I just didn't know what you're going to do because I got in trouble doing this in mainstream radio. I used to have an account. We did live endorsements for this company, and we would always do this. We would come out of whatever we were talking about into this live spot, and the fun of it was tying it together so it sounded organic. And so it was for a company that did loans for refinancing and stuff like that. And so I remember one time we were talking about this old lady that had been killed in her house. And I came out of that segue, and my partner's looking at me like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, hey, have you ever had that dead person smell in your home? Check out ABC Mortgage because they can help you get the money you need to remove all of that horrific odor. And I lost that account. And they used to pay me so well, too. So is this a good idea?
I think it could be because nothing is being tied to anyone or any kind of business.
Okay, so first of all, where did we leave off?
We left off with giving control to God.
Okay, and where are we going to?
We're going to obsessive fans over celebrities.
Obsessive fans over celebrities, and we were in control. Okay. You know what? And sometimes things in your life, you're just going to have to accept that you can't control them as much as you would like to, like obsessive fans, okay? Obsessive fans are crazy, and it's a big problem, I think, for celebrities, and they'd love to control it, and they don't get any help from, like, the police and things like that. Do you have any stories about, like, fans going nuts and being obsessive, Rock?
Yes, I actually do. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I have 3 examples of this, and I want to see what your take is. Actually, I want y'all to grade them on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being get them help.
Okay.
Like, that's scary, to 1 being like, okay, give them some leeway. It's not that bad. Okay, the first example is John Travolta. Back in the day when he was a big deal, like with
Huge.
Grease and Urban Cowboy, he claims...
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever, yeah. He claims that he went home and it was dark inside. He's getting ready for bed, opens up his closet, and when he does, there is a girl sitting inside of his closet. She had somehow broke into his house, snuck in, and was sitting in his closet because she wanted to meet him. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to also specify they're only going to get worse from here.
No.
Where would you grade that?
If they have to get worse,
I mean, I would put that at a 10
I would
because
too.
you
It's
have actually,
breaking and entering.
like, kind
Well,
of.
she's not armed.
I know, but meeting someone in the wild, and being obsessive, like, oh my gosh, can I hug you? Can I hug you? I've watched people on TikTok with fans go, it's funny, can I hug you? And they're like, no. Like I've seen guys be like, no, I'm sorry, no.
I don't
I'm like,
blame
oh,
them.
good for you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, but breaking and entering
That's pretty bad.
and being in his closet in his bedroom, like that is next level. That's a 10. Like that's
feels
a 10
10-ish.
plus.
It can't be a 10 because it's
Okay.
only going to get worse.
Now we're going to go higher. We're going to go above 10. We're going to go,
Okay.
we can't even be sub 10.
Okay. The next example, Jonas Brothers. So
this is gonna be-
they claim that in the mail they got a package that was delivered to them, and inside was a tube, a big tube, and inside that tube was a dead baby shark.
Oh, wow. That's kind of cool.
There was no note.
Okay.
You think that's cool?
Yeah.
Okay, but what was the message behind it? To me, that's super creepy.
Did one of them like collect sharks or did they
No.
like stuff like that?
No.
I think that's a little less creepy than
Than being
actually
in your house.
Being in the house.
Oh, yeah. Like that.
It's ominous. It fits your bill for your podcasting
Yeah.
stuff about
I thought
ambiguous.
that was creepy.
I'm going to put that at a 4.
It's weird.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put
5,
that at a
6.
4, 5.
Okay.
Yeah. That one's not bad.
All right, and then finally,
Especially with no note.
Dolly Parton, she claims that back in the day when she had a huge hit with Jolene, she came home one day and at the gates in front of her mansion, there was a little baby sitting there in a basket,
A real baby.
brand new baby, and it had a note and it said, "My name is Jolene.
No.
My mother left me, and I need you to raise me."
Oh,
That's a
that's
20. That's a
terrible.
20 plus.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's next level. Like that screams of like sad desperation too. You hope that the mom was at least sitting somewhere with an eye shot
You would
to see
hope.
if somebody picked her up, you know?
Well, Dolly and her people had to call some people, and they got the baby where it needed to be.
I'd love
But,
to know what happened to that baby.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Like,
too.
did that baby grow up to be a country star? Like, how ironic would that be if you were left at Dolly Parton's gates and you ended up being Jelly Roll? Like, how amazing would that be? I don't know.
named Jolene?
First guy that came to mind.
Jolene Roll?
Yeah. That is next level.
Well,
Your child
Yeah.
that you had for 9 months, and then you said, I'm going to give this to my favorite musician.
Yeah. Oof. I do remember being in Africa and meeting these families, and they so badly wanted the best for their kids that this one guy was trying to give us his child to take back to America with us. Like,
yes.
I mean,
I see the logic there.
Oh,
in
100%.
trying.
when you're in a position that seems hopeless for you and you know that your kid can only get to this place without intervention, and then you're like, fine, please, I want the best for my child. And we're like, we cannot take your child, and like, I still remember, like, I can't even imagine that level of desperation where I would do that, with my daughter that I loved. But that's the world we live in, man. While you want to vilify this mom, there's some weird part of it that's like maybe she knew she couldn't take care of her didn't want her to end up in an orphanage, which is where she ended up. But
and she, for some reason, trusted
Dolly. Everyone
enough,
trusts Dolly.
And she's a good,
but she didn't even know her.
And Dolly's wealthy, so you think it's kind of like Moses, not to Jesus juke it, but Moses getting brought into Pharaoh's household.
It's solid.
Like his life, like turned around, you know, and like that's best case scenario. If you were, was it Miriam? What's his mom? Or Miriam I think Miriam put him in the basket.
It is Miriam.
Yeah, but was it his mom or?
Well, that seems wrong.
Yeah.
His mom.
No, I don't think he has
Adopted.
Where's Miriam, his sister?
Sister. It might have been sister.
Jochebed.
Jochebed was mom.
Moses' sister. But yeah, Miriam is his sister.
Okay.
This says, mom. Jochebed.
Jochebed.
Or Jochebed. I don't know.
There you go. Well, anyway, so we learned a little something there. Do you have any birthdays for us? Oh, you want me to segue that too?
Yeah.
You know what? I bet the best birthday was for Moses was when he ended up in the palace and he went from he wouldn't even got a cake as a slave, but he probably got a really new like a cool bassinet and a big cake and maybe a donkey. And so pretty good day for him. Hey, speaking of that, do you have any birthdays, Rock?
I actually do. Thank you. Yes. Christy wants to wish Isaac and Lily a happy birthday. Said I have the blessing of being their mom. Must be twins.
Nice. Oh, good.
That's pretty cool. Isaac and Lily are 10 this year and love Legos. They're 2 cats.
Nice.
Camping, reading, martial arts, dance, and Friday movie
Those are
nights.
some
They're
fun hobbies.
kind, creative, energetic, and fortunately still like to snuggle.
Oh, love that. I just hung up my Lego car that I built in the office, and Gavin appreciated it. Betty did not get it.
I
And I
know
wouldn't
what
expect
it was.
you to.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
15 hours it took me to build that thing.
Really?
Labor of
It
love.
was 15.
15 hours. There's so
Cool.
many little parts, and then you do them backwards, and the graphics are hard. My eyes were crossing at one point in time. There's you're talking about their kids like to snuggle. There's a weird trend on TikTok right now where your grown daughter, like a dad is kind of sitting on a chair watching TV or laying down on the couch, and the grown daughter being in her 20s will go and sit in his lap and snuggle when she was little. And you'd watch the dad at first be like, what's going on here? And then most of these dads, they just kind of melt oh my gosh. It's still the best.
You should try that with your dad, Gavin.
I was gonna say,
it only works with daughters.
I don't think it works with your grown son.
It does not.
Coming
It does
up being
not.
like, hey, Dad, want to cuddle?
Yeah, I hope your dad would punch you for that.
Leave my sight, please.
Yeah, but for kids, for your daughter, it's pretty special. I remember hugging Haley on her wedding day, and she just kind of folded into me again. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna miss this.
Because eventually, with this, I feel like with boys, whenever you hug your friends, you have the
tap it out, double tap out.
Tap. I feel like that eventually becomes the feeling of hugging, hugging my dad.
Yeah,
is
lean in.
I still love being able to hug my dad, but it's not if it's my mom. Sometimes it's wrap around her and hold her for a little while. Dad, it's
yeah,
love you, Dad. It's not this. And if he listens, I don't think he disagree with that.
No,
se.
there's nothing wrong with that. My mom, it's so funny because as a kid, because my dad was not this super tall guy, but my dad was unbelievably tough. He was a man's man. He did construction work his whole life, and he his tolerance for pain was just amazing. He was just a tough guy, and I we would do the same thing, hug him, but he always felt big to me. And then thinking about it too, when I was a little kid, and this literally just happened the other day. I remember my mom as being super tall. And my mom is not super tall. You've seen my mom, she's tall. But my mom always seemed big to me because I respect her immensely, and I respect her heart and who she is and her creativity and her kindness and all these things. But she always felt tall to me. And I'd look at pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, she's probably 5'8", 5'7", 5. I'm like, no. I go to hug her now, she's maybe 5'2". I mean, maybe. And
I don't know. She might be 5 feet.
She's so little. I hug her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so much taller. And I always kiss her on the top of her head, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just this little thing,
She's itty bitty.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't think she shrunk that much because you do shrink as you get older. But I think she just always was. But as a kid, you see your parents as something that maybe they're not, and
Yeah.
in a good way sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
And then finally, Jeremy wants to wish his awesome son, Caleb, a happy birthday. Happy birthday, Caleb. He said he is a godly young man and a great human being.
Love that.
Question, and this one, wow, Jeremy, read the room.
What?
This question is just going to be too much for Wally.
Like cats?
If your pet
Oh, no.
Oh.
could suddenly talk,
Oh.
what's the first thing they would yell at you about?
I'm not dead. Don't bury me.
Aw.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Just
his
buried my
cat-
cat.
His cat died last week.
That was, yeah, I hated that, man. And I hated that she died like alone, like we were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the thing. And I knew it in my soul. Like, I felt bad about that because I would have been fine, like being there and holding her, when she passed. But then my wife pointed it out and she's like, oh, we weren't here. There was no one here. I'm like, oh, and this is just a cat, and people have this with their loved ones too. Like COVID. I feel so bad for people that died during COVID and the policies were like, you can't go see your loved one. Like what? In what world is that a good idea? But yeah, so that was a rough week. What would Buford and Rayford say?
I think Rayford would yell at Buford saying, I'm the favorite.
Yeah, probably so.
And Buford would, there's part of me that thinks he'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Hey, Mom, watch this. And he throws up.
Well, yeah, like he did this morning.
This morning, too?
Yes.
Ugh.
He just, I don't know.
You have hardwoods in your
Yep.
main house, in your bedroom, too?
Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
a
Like,
blessing.
that's, yeah,
Right.
I'll tell you, man. Animals and carpet are the worst.
He just, I don't know why, he just scarfs down food and then he'll just,
Yeah.
and then he'll go straight back to eating.
Yeah.
Well, then
Ew.
don't do that.
Yeah, you're like, you should get him help. He might have bulimia.
How do you teach? But he goes back to eating.
Yeah, see? Yeah, you should get him
I don't
help.
know. It's like, why does he do that? But then Rayford never throws up.
Really?
He's only thrown up once since I've had him for 2 years.
No wonder he's
time.
your favorite.
Yeah. And his hair doesn't get everywhere like Buford.
Well, Buford is a model. Like when you the pictures of him, he looks regal.
Yeah.
He looks like a lion. Like it would be like on that MGM Studios logo thing. He really does. Like if he was a Mancoon, I'd be afraid of him.
But
Or Maine Coon.
yeah, he's definitely very long and skinny and he loves to stretch. So
Yeah.
I'm always helping him stretch. But
Yeah.
Rayford Allen, he loves his feather toy and he loves his treats.
If Jasper
Easy
could
to
talk, what would he say, Gavin?
He said, "Get rid of everyone who's not me."
Oh, okay. Put down the shovel, Dad.
Because he's no, don't put me at the front. That's a truck. Yeah, no. He would say, "Get rid of everyone else," because
And bring back the skunk.
he just, he's like, "Bring me my enemy." But Ellie would probably, I think Ellie would just say, she either say, "I love you," because she just is a good dog,
Sweet.
or she'd say something along the lines of, "Hey, you haven't taken me to the vet for like 4 months, and I still have issues from back then." I'm like, "Oh, I can't
Jeez.
afford that."
Yeah, you're fine.
Walk
You're
it
fine.
off.
Yeah.
Walk it off.
That's what I tell her.
I did go back to visit Sasha's gravesite yesterday.
That's sad.
I know, like, because we have like a green space behind us, like there's no houses there, and so that's where I buried her. Because I told my wife, I said I'm gonna bury her in the backyard, and then my wife was like, nah, she's crying. She was like, it was too soon to tell her this because it was just happened, and then she's like, but what if an animal gets her? And so because I have like 3 trees in my backyard, I thought I was gonna put her back there. And then I'm like, I'm going to put her back more in the woods just on the off chance that like some animal like gets wind of this and digs it up.
But they didn't.
No, they didn't. Because I
So
even
far.
put a little stone as a headstone for her. I have a beautiful picture. I'll share it with you.
Also,
but-
don't think too highly of Wally because he's super excited about the carpet guy coming.
I know I got the carpet guy coming today because now we finally are like, we could go get carpet. Oh, what an ordeal. The carpet thing has been an ordeal. So it started off with me getting upset with my wife when we went to Home Depot because she just was like, I don't like anything. I don't like any of this. No. I'm like, well, you're just not making this fun. I wanted to do this. I thought it would be fun. We're leaving. I'm leaving now. And I just walked out. I was like so frustrated. And I told her, she was like, why are you getting upset? I'm like, you have made this not fun. Like, I thought this was going to be a fun thing for us to do and pick out. I like doing home stuff, and you're just like poo-pooing it. And you're not even like trying to ask any questions of anybody to learn. You're making all these assumptions. And so I'm like, how are we going to do this? And so, yeah, I'm frustrated by that. And this was in the parking lot at Lowe's. And
I
so,
wonder how many,
or Home Depot.
I wonder how many couples counseling situations have spawned from the parking lot at Lowe's.
Probably. So then we went from Home Depot to Lowe's, and Lowe's went better. We both agreed. Like, we get out of the car, she goes, "Okay, now we're both gonna be nice, right?" I said, "Yes." We've had our talk.
Teamwork.
And as long as you're engaged and you're being proactive in this, yes.
Did she apologize?
Yeah, she did. Yeah. And I did too. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah, I shouldn't have had to. But anyway, I did anyway. Keep the peace. And so we go to Lowe's, and so we pick a few samples. That took forever. And so we have somebody coming out to measure to possibly do this. And so I thought, well, let's get another thing, like another quote. So we go to an actual flooring store, and I'm expecting them to be way more expensive. But they really weren't. I was really surprised. So we're in there flipping through 100 carpet samples. This lady cannot make up her mind at all.
She's bad about not making up her mind.
She gets paralysis.
She knows what she doesn't want,
yes.
but she doesn't know what she does want.
100%. Like, if I had come to her with 3 options and said, these are our 3 options, pick one of these, then probably would have been better, because then she had all these options. And it's like the Princess and the Pea. This one's too soft. This one's too hard. This one's too nappy. This one's too gray. This one's too blue. Really? Like, and like, I literally, at one point, the lady was working there. I said, she's like, I don't see anything. And I said, okay, so let me see if I understand you. You're telling me that this company that we're in right now, and the sales lady is there, that like does carpet for tens of thousands of homes every year, and Shaw, the manufacturer, does them for millions of homes every year. They somehow have managed to not find a carpet for you. like you literally can, because I've even said, like, I'm not even like don't pick the expensive one. Like, there's not like a thing like, oh, you've only got to pick from these cheap carpets. Like, I'm like, just pick something and we'll figure it out from there what it looks like. And she could not pick anything. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, what? And so then I'm going back through, what about this? What about this? And so they're like, well, why don't you take the boards home? You can lay them down on your floor, see how they look. So she had picked a couple. We take the boards home, and then her opinion completely changes, because you get it in the room and it looks different. And now she's picking the one that I liked. And I'm like, oh my Lord, I knew it all along. So the carpet thing has been just not fun. Not fun for me at all. And now I have to rush home today because the carpet guy's coming out to measure, and I feel like just letting her deal with it.
Maybe you're the one that's not making it fun.
No, I am. I was excited. Like, hey, what can we do? I love possibilities. Let's see what we can knock out.
But you got angry fast.
Not fast. It took me a hot second. It took about 14 I hate everythings, and I'm not going to help you be proactive in this at all.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I think that was fair.
I just hope it doesn't turn into the chair situation.
8 chairs.
Yeah, 8 different chairs.
It always sounds like it's kind of the chair situation.
It does, yeah. She went through 8 chairs that we bought and returned for this one place. And then she has it was the 7th chair that we ended up keeping. And then we had the 8th chair because she then moved.
Didn't you get a chair out of
She
that?
moved this. Oh, she got a couch out. She moved the 7th chair into our bedroom and then bought the 8th chair. This was the one. This was the one from IKEA. I love this chair. And then somehow the 8th chair has moved to the 7th chair position, and 7th chair is now back in the living room in the 8th chair position.
What do you call it? The pleasure of...
Polly principle, the privilege of loving you. And that is exactly what we do. Mm-hmm. So anyway, all right, that's going to have to do it for your Aftercast for today. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.